must have never seen such an unreliable caregiver. In order to test whether the patient is really unconscious, he even poured water on his legs. Then he shaved the patient's beard like this, and it was such an unreliable caregiver. But he became the best friend of the rich man's patient for life because of a skydiving accident. The rich white man, Filippo, was paralyzed in bed, so he had to hire a full-time escort. Due to the high salary, there were many applicants, but none of them could impress him. And Jesse, who had been waiting for a long time, was impatient. He jumped the queue and rushed in and threw a paper on the table. All he wanted was a signature refusing to be hired to apply for unemployment benefits. But Philip saw Jesse's frankness. He decided to try her out for a month starting tomorrow. When Jesse came home in the evening, he saw his mother coming home, immediately dropped the cigarette in her hand. Mom asked her why she had been missing for so long. Jessie said she had gone on a trip, but her mother knew very well. She had been detained for 6 months for robbery. She was just released recently. When she saw her son, who was so ungrateful, she kicked him out of the house in a fit of rage. With nowhere else to go, Jesse spent the night hanging out with friends. The next day, he arrives at Philip's mansion. The housekeeper gave him a brief overview of his work. Then she showed him Jesse's room, and when he saw the bathroom in front of him, which was bigger than his house, his eyes were wide open. This was something he had never had before. During the training, while the housekeeper was teaching him how to give Philip a massage, he fell asleep on the couch. When he was giving Philip a bath, he mistook the foot lotion for shampoo and complained that this brand of shampoo did not lather at all. After the bath, Philip needed to put on tight socks to keep his blood circulating, but this was unacceptable to Jessie. She thought real men wore stockings. She tried to get the housekeeper to come and put them on for her, but no one came. She had no choice but to put them on herself. But what made her even more desperate was Philip's bowel problems. This was really unacceptable to her. She went to the housekeeper to discuss it, but she was put off. The next day, Jesse accidentally spilled hot water on Philip's leg, but he found that Philip did not react at all. In order to test whether he was really insensitive, picked up the kettle and poured hot water on his leg. Luckily, the housekeeper arrived. He stopped him just in time while feeding Philip his meal. Seeing the sexy body of the female assistant, he was so blinded, so much so that he fed the food to Philip's eyes. He didn't even know. That day, the housekeeper accidentally found a dagger in Jesse's bag. This disturbed him deeply. By the next day, Philip asked Jesse to take him to a painting exhibition, but Jesse doesn't want his employer to be stuffed into an electric van like cargo. He put Philip in a sports car. He let Philip catch the roar of the sports car with him. When he got to the door, he found a car blocking the street. Jesse got out of the car and walked over to it, picked up the driver, pressed the driver to the jinting sign to teach him a lesson. After arriving at the exhibition, I found out that Philippe wanted to pay 40,000 euros for a painting that had a nosebleed on it. He yelled at him for being so sick in the head. Shortly afterwards, a friend approached Philippe about Jesse. The friend told Philippe, Jesse might have violent tendencies. Your housekeeper found a dagger in his bag, and that he had no compassion to speak of. But Philip was not impressed. He said it was his lack of compassion that I needed. He sometimes even forgets that I'm paralyzed. Handing me the phone, let me get it myself. As long as he was healthy, has a normal mind, the rest is not important to me. At this point, my friend could not say anything else after hearing